Ladies and gentlemen, in 2011, I was presented by the Prime Minister of Fiji with the Visionary Excellence in Tourism Award. In 2015, I was presented with the Fiji Businesswoman of the Year Award. These achievements impacted my life as a businesswoman immensely, gaining recognition for the spa industry that I had created in Fiji's tourism industry. When I first moved to Fiji in 1997, I never imagined that I would have such an impact on Fiji's spa tourism industry and also of the livelihood of our local women. I opened the first beauty school of its kind in Lautoka. By the end of that first year, I had already opened 5 spas in Fiji's resorts, giving instant employment for our graduates. I then expanded to a chain of Senekai spas, and then later produced our own product range, Essence of Fiji, using naturally harvested extracts. My latest company expansion is the Essence of Fiji Rejuvenation Centre, where we house the factory for our manufacturing, training school, Senekai Spa head office, and a transit lounge, the first of its kind in Fiji, catering to tourists for their inbound and outbound travel. Now, as a white kaivalagi woman, you're probably sitting there right now thinking, of course, she's successful. She had all the foundations, all the grounding to find success. Money, education. That is so far from the truth. As a young girl growing up in Australia, the next one will come along. As a young girl growing up in a country town in Australia, watching my mum, I hope that's a cute photo, watching my mum, she was an amazing woman, but she lived a life that women should not be subjected to. My dad, he meant well, but he was a cowboy, rodeo rider, and a truckie. I say no more. So poor mum was just a woman that didn't have a choice and had a really, really, I think, unfortunate, tragic life. As a little girl, she'd say to me, Deb, when you grow up, you are going to be so much. You're going to be independent, you're going to be smart and confident. And I remember my nana always saying to her, will you stop telling her that all the time? She's going to grow up so self-centred. And Mum would say, no, she won't. She will grow up to be the woman that I can't be. Oh, sorry, that was my mum back there. My mum's sitting here in the audience. Hi, Mum. Can you give a hand to my mum? She doesn't have that life anymore. So then leaving home at the early age of 15, I knew at that very early age that I needed to go out and choose a different destiny. With no formal education, I took the plunge, I left home, and decided then that I needed to find financial independence. I knew that financial independence would bring freedom as a woman. And I also took those values with me through the rest of my life. I worked my way through those early years, mainly in retail fashion, and I worked really hard, and I knew that it was really important that I got noticed by my employers. They needed to see my capabilities. And by my early 20s, I'd worked my way up into merchandising, training, recruitment, and management. And I was well on my way to being a successful woman and being financially independent. Later on in my 20s, a friend said to me, Debra, why don't you go and sell motor cars? I'm like, what? I don't know anything about cars. I don't even know where to put the oil. But you know what? I could sell sand to the Arabs. So I took the plunge and I became a car saleswoman. Now that sounds funny in Fiji, but in Australia back in the 80s, that was huge. Selling prestige cars, I made so much money. And I was the best at what I did. I was actually the first woman to sell motor cars in Australia. A lot of the guys were a bit shocked when I walked into the dealership, but I won so many prizes and I was their highest achiever. I won trips around the world, and I earned really good money. It was a great time. Unfortunately, during that time, after being successful in the car industry, we had the big crash. I don't mean the car, but I mean financial crash. It was a global thing. And of course, people then stopped spending money on motor cars, especially prestige cars. So I knew then that I had to start seeking another career. By this stage, I'd moved to Sydney. And I was in the local beauty salon. And my beauty therapist said to me, "Debra, I'm just over this. It's time I sold my business. I'm ready to retire." I knew right at that moment that I was about to become a business owner. I bought the salon there and then. After I'd bought the salon, I thought, well, okay, this is good, but I really should probably learn this industry, seeing as I know nothing about beauty. I then went and enrolled in a beauty therapy course. And throughout that year, I made it my mission to observe every student in the class, and at the end of that year, I employed the top graduates for my business. It was a successful business, and I did that for many years. During those years, I travelled and embraced life, and in my travels, I came to Fiji about twice a year and fell in love with Fiji. I then knew as a businesswoman that I wanted to make Fiji my home. I instantly saw that there was a huge demand for my expertise in Fiji. So I came here and I opened the South Pacific Academy of Beauty Therapy in Lautoka, expanding the business to every aspect of the industry: training, spa operations, product manufacturing. It was during that time of product manufacturing that I started to work with the rural women. I worked closely with MDF to set up Village Enterprise. That was so rewarding. I just loved that. Seeing the impact that I had on these women. They would supply me with the extracts for my products, or still do, being mainly VCO coconut oil, seaweeds, and now Nama. This then providing them with sustainability, much needed revenue to look after their families. This has actually been the basis for my business model. The driving force for changing women's lives and empowering women was definitely due to my early years as a little girl, watching my mum, and her encouraging words, and learning that with independence, women needed financial stability. Now, with focus on export, these women will benefit even more. In those early years, I married a Fijian kaya sawa, Sadranu, who passed away 3 years ago. During that marriage, I was blessed with the most gorgeous little man, Fatea Jr., who's now 12, the love of my life. He's a well-grounded boy. He goes to Nadi Airport School. We're a true KVT family. He used to play golf like his dad, but typical KVT style, he now loves soccer and, of course, rugby. Where was he today? Rugby. I keep telling him that golf is a lot not as dangerous as rugby, but that's not going to stop him. To get where I am in life wasn't easy. I learnt valuable lessons to achieve my goals. You know, no business school can teach you that. I went to the business school of life, and I would not change my past for 1 minute. You know, those years of hardship growing up, I'm so grateful for that, because I would not be the woman I am today had I come from what we call the chocolate box family. That's not saying anything about our previous speaker, who deals in lollies. I guess the three things that I'd like to say about the valuable lessons that I learnt is my mother instilling confidence in me, her words of encouragement. It's so important that we instill those words of confidence and encouragement into our younger generation. You know, we are responsible to develop our youth and our future generations. I know that my son will succeed in whatever he chooses, because I learnt those values from my mum, and I give him those values. Number 2, the importance of networking. Being known. I do that really well. I'm the president of Skull Fiji, which is an international Tourism Association for Tourism Executives. I'm on the Film Fiji board and SOFTA. Maximising every opportunity, networking with industry people, making sure that I never miss an opportunity. Number 3, to create an empire, you need to expand your resources. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. Believe in yourself. Find mentors if you have to. And most importantly, that we need to remember in Fiji is how to manage money and how to do a budget. Because if you can't do a budget, you will never find success. I was recently invited to Dublin to be a keynote speaker at the Sodesco World Spa Congress. This will be fantastic not only for me as a businesswoman and for my business, but for Fiji, putting Fiji on the map. I'll be carrying the Fiji flag to this amazing Spa Congress, and I'll be carrying the Fiji flag and bidding for the 2018 World Spa Congress to come to Fiji. Very exciting times for our industry. Thank you. Lastly, what makes me happy? A lot. The most important thing is my son. He makes me so happy. My work, because every day I make a difference to women's lives. Watching these women grow, right from my students to my employees, I would not be where I am today if it was not for the incredible women around me. The sun, the sea, and living in Fiji. I find it incredible that so many of our locals feel the urge to migrate. They always think the grass is greener on the other side, but we have so much opportunity in Fiji. It's such a great place to live. Don't assume that success comes easy, because it doesn't. Hard work, dedication, and passion are the key to success. Today, I challenge you, each and every one of you in this room. I challenge you to do what I did. It doesn't matter what background you come from, how hard, how easy. I challenge you to work your way up, seek opportunities, whether it be within the employment that you have or whether it be to seek new opportunities or become a business entrepreneur. Believe in yourself. I did it, and I know that you can. So get up, embrace, be confident, and go for it. Vinaka. Thank you.